Hey guys, welcome back to Deepak's Daily Reading. We're going to be talking today about the sports gene, talent, practice, and the truth about success by David Epstein. So, yeah, it's a good book. I think it's going to be an easy read. I don't know how instructive it's going to be, but there's certainly, of course, some takeaways from it. So I'll get into them now. So there's a huge variance between people when it comes to the 10,000 hour rule. In some cases, 600 hours alone is enough to reach a national standard. In some other areas, 4,000 hours is completely fine. In other areas, it's 27,000 hours. There's also a degree of individual variance between how quickly people pick things up and how quickly they progress to a level of excellency. So for some people, it can take the full 27,000 hours, and other people, it can take literally 10,000 hours. So the 10,000 hours is an arbitrary number. It's really about striving to achieve excellence and what that entails and what it involves. So that's the first consideration. And there's the example of a Swedish gold medal winner in the high jump. I forget his name, but fundamentally he trained for hours, days, weeks, months, years, decades, and trained in a whole mind-boggling variety of ways, dedicated his entire life to it, because he was only, I think, 5'8", so really short for a high jumper, and he was able to go on to become a gold medal winner through a lifetime of dedication versus this American guy called Holmes, who had beat him in the high jump whilst transitioning to that sport within just a couple of years. And much of it related to the fact that Holmes had naturally a much longer Achilles tendon, I think, which is a good indicator of success due to the level of flexibility you can have in that tendon when you can create explosive power. And Holmes had to work much less for it, but the Swedish gold medal winner, I forget his name, it's a bit frustrating, had a lot more ability to apply deliberate practice. So after winning once, Holmes wouldn't really win again. So it's just interesting to understand that. So there's also lots of biological data to support how ultimately biology can make a difference in terms of visual perception and acute physiological differences that help athletes in particular sports achieve really well. So there's ranges within eyesight, and that can actually have an indication within archery, baseball, softball, and any sport where visual acuity is a requirement for success. It means you can literally see things sooner than other people can see it, because you're able to take in more. It's to do with the presence of a particular type of, I don't know if it's molecule, atom within your eyes, but one in X thousand people have it, and all of the people that go on to become professional baseball players tend to have it, and the regular ordinary person doesn't. So visual acuity, sense perception, depth perception, contrast perception, all of these types of things that relate to eyesight can directly then impact your ability within a particular athletic environment. So it's really interesting that there's those with visual hardware, and they tend to self-select themselves out of particular sports, because if you don't have the hardware, you're not going to perform well regardless of your software, if you will. Hardware being your physical outlook, and then software being your ability to use your skill set. And ultimately, that outside of athletics professional sport, they say that they looked at 20 to 30,000 people, some of these professional coaches, and they say they don't see people with it. So it's really interesting to understand that there are definitely differences here. And then I'm going to forward you this link that relates to identifying people that have particular abilities and then having them switch sports, and then seeing that they exceed at a far greater level in a different sport based upon a particular physiological ability that they have, which is often determined by a particular type of exercise that will lend itself towards superior performance within that discipline. So there's the Olympics retraining of people that have gone on to switch sport and then achieve a gold medal where they've not achieved it in one sport, or particular physiological advantages give you or lend you a really big advantage. So it's really interesting. I'd encourage you to read the link to have a look at this concept of recycling talent. And yeah, as it says here, with the right testing, you can determine based upon your genetics and natural and athletic ability which sort of sport suits you best, and then commit to a talent transfer. This is what Australia did to produce a record of Olympic gold medals, that became, I think, is it 3.03 for every million people that live there, which is 10 times higher than what the United States comparatively produced. Then there's something that becomes a problem of specialization for kids when they're young, and there's different competing philosophies on this. So the Laszlo Polgar Razor Genius part, the guy in this book actually disagrees with that, because it says that, well, there's a couple of things. So there's something called a speed plateau in sports, which I'll send you the ChatGPT link for, and it's around and it's in relation to specialization and generalization in terms of overall development within sport and life, and what you should think about when it comes to stuff like this. So yeah, really, really interesting, and I'll forward you those relevant links. So, good books.
Hey guys, it's Deepak Shukla here. I am huge on listening to books on Audible. So if you're interested in getting all of the insights as I discover them through the course of all the books I read, please do comment, like, and of course subscribe so that you get notified every time we release a video. Thank you so much, and I hope to hear from you soon.